I wanted to go on to the EA app to see more information about Enchanted by Nature. Um, if this is your first time tuning in, I am Bree. I run the Mellow Gamer Chick channel, where I do a variety of games, including live simulation games like The Sims 4. So this is coming off of the heels of the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack reveal trailer that came out earlier today. They also had a blog post, which I did a separate video on. But for this video, I wanted to dive into some more of the screenshots and information that's actually available through the EA app. So you can pre order. I never recommend pre ordering until you have all the information. There's going to be a gameplay trailer on June 26th and then a developer live stream sometime in July. So we're still kind of early on. There's a ton of screenshots. So I just want to start with those. So some of these are from the blog post and some of these are new to the EA app, but this is an example of the different pre-order items and like fairy houses that you can get. I think this screenshot is new, so you can see that they're tending to different plants. There's a lot of new temporary tattoos. They're a nature theme looking like flowers, trees, plants. We see an example of a sim bathing in a pond, foraging for items, and kind of like doing the natural living skill. This is an example of fairies, which I guess there are two paths for fairies. They can either be like good or bad, and obviously the colors will match. So the dark fairy is probably a dark fairy versus the light fairy is probably a good fairy. And of course, there's going to be some sort of tie-in with the lore with the gnomes. This one's also from the blog post, but you can see she's providing a cure, and he has some sort of ailment. I'm not sure. This was a different one than what they showed in the trailer. And it looks like the gnomes have some influence on that. Like they're happy that she's providing the cure. And then this was showing the three neighborhoods in Innsgreen, which is the new world coming with the expansion pack. So those are it for screenshots, but there is a pretty detailed description. So it says live surrounded by the magic of nature in the Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. Embrace a free spirited lifestyle where you forage and sleep under the stars or bring nature's gifts inside with versatile gardening pots. A charming world is waiting where you can craft elixirs, cure ailments, meet Mother Nature herself, and become a fairy. Of course, there is digital content if you pre order by a certain date. But what I wanted to get into is a little bit more of the details. So, under nature, there's four categories there's nature, magic, balance, and enchantment. So, under nature, it's a lifestyle. So, you want to feel at home in nature. The natural living skill is about becoming more natural and comfortable outside to the point where your sim is happy living in the great outdoors and they can meet their needs without like beds and plumbing. Sims can meet their needs in nature by sleeping on the ground or leaving themselves in a privy bush, talking to nature, and eating food that they either forage or catch, among other things. Sims may be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but they will become more comfortable as they gain more skill level. Also, there's three new traits. So the plant lovers are happiest surrounded by greenery and will sink into negative moods if they're away from plants too long. Mystical Sims are empathetic and they want to guide others towards a balanced life, so they'll build their apothecary and gardening skills faster. And disruptive Sims are daring individuals who love freedom and excitement, even if their fun can sometimes be at the expense of others. They'll build the mischief, logic, and charisma skills faster. And then for nature inside, you can grow about any plant you want using four of the new tabletop plant pots. These pots will fit in medium-sized spaces such as on tables or shelves, and you can use them to grow both harvestable and decorative plants. Turn your home into a lush garden. Another way to bring the outside inside is a new nature press, in which Sims can create decor like candles and wall art from the treasures they find in nature. So we saw an example of that in the reveal trailer where there was a child age sim who looked like she was using the nature press. So I'm glad to see that's a new hobby coming with this new expansion pack. Under the magic category, you can develop mystical powers. Fairy sims will gain experience by using their powers or performing specific interactions. As they gain experience, they'll be able to learn abilities like curing ailments and bestowing them, changing their moods or of other sims, bottling emotions, creating seeds, and making plants blossom are also examples of fairy skills. Everything has a cost, though. Fairies are nourished by emotion, and their abilities cost emotional energy that they need to recharge. So there's going to be various forms of fairies. So you can create fairies with beautiful wings that you're free to paint. There's new facial presets, skin tones, glowing tattoos, and fairy core fashion that will be available. Fairy Sims have a separate fairy form in addition to the regular Sim form. While you can create fairies and create a Sim, you can also have them become a fairy through a special journey that will have them summoning Mother Nature and visiting the Enchanted Springs. Fairies will also have new woohoo and a new death, emotional starvation. Fairy dust is for those who aren't fairies but just want to enchant fun for themselves. You can use fairy dust to bring gnomes to life and have them help around your lot or enchant plants and objects created by the nature press. Enchanted plants have an easier to care for or may produce better harvest, but they also can attract magical pests called pixies. Fairies create their own fairy dust. Other sims can ask them for it, and both fairies and non-fairies can find it while foraging or picking it up at a special place. In terms of balance, there are going to be ailments. So there are 8 different ailments, and they're not all bad. A lot of them depend on your perspective. For example, the luck magnet will build up your sim's good luck by stealing it from everyone else around them. Another ailment will saddle your sim with the uncontrollable urge to create, and another will have them feeling emotionally nothing. Ailments may be caused by imbalance, caught from ailing sims, or inflicted by the meddling of a fairy. There's also a new skill, the apothecary skill, so you can use new books and the leafy ledge apothecary table to build your skill. You can craft cures for ailments, elixirs that affect the needs and emotions of other sims, or even an emotional stone. There are 22 recipes altogether. The emotion stones are limited use that can siphon emotions from a sim. Emotions can be the key ingredient for some recipes, and various sims can consume them to recharge their emotional energy. That need will decay more slowly when a fairy sim has an emotion stone in their inventory. And of course, now there's luck in the game. So, luck affects a sim's chance of getting positive outcomes while crafting, foraging, socializing, and more. Luck even plays a role in whether the evil gnomes will show up on your home lot. You can check a sim's luck by looking at the Simology panel, and it can be changed in various ways, like asking for Spruce Almighty to help or being the target of a fairy's play with luck ability. You can also turn off the luck system using in-game settings. And then finally, there's enchantment. So this is a beautiful world. So the coast of Admore is a Celtic-inspired town with walkable streets, a giant gnome statue, and lots of history. It's the most down-to-earth of in-Green's neighborhoods. Spruce Dairy Grove is a very nature-focused community with a touch of the mystical thrown in. Everdew is a hot spot for fairy activity where their powers are openly used and even the plants feel fantastical. The Mossville Fairy Hub and large mushroom is located here. Explore to discover even more enchanting surprises. And then finally, there are new NPC characters. So, example, Mother Nature can be summoned, and she can help Sims on their quest to become a fairy. There's also a special glasswood tree statue that summons Spruce Almighty. There is a fervent fellow who can help you out around your lot and even improve a Sim's luck. You can get your own statue and place it on your home lot to summon him more easily. So I expect that there'd be a lot of lore, of course, with this, and it's giving Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit kind of energy, which is different. And of course, there's some pre-order items if you pre-order by a certain date. But I think the trailer didn't do as much justice as all the blog posts and pictures and content that we're finding through the EA app has. It makes it a little bit more interesting. I want to understand a little bit better about the luck system, how you become a fairy, the indoor plant system. Are they going to be revamping the gardening system? Versus maybe a separate system for indoor plants. So there's a lot of questions still, and I may do a separate video on all the information that we have so far versus information that we still need in order to decide if this is a pack worth buying. Of course, I recommend holding off on any sort of pre-ordering until more information is available. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think based on what's in the EA app? Thank you so much for watching.